So, I had actually planned on doing a different video for today that had to do with the .12 release information that Nikita had posted on Reddit, where we talked about kind of everything that we already kind of knew, other than him confirming that the boss for the woods was done and that the surgical kits were done. Everything else that was on that list was pretty much just things that we already knew that were kind of coming, other than it confirming our worst fears that they're a little bit further behind than we thought they would be at this point. Although, that shouldn't be surprising because typically we see BSG taking quite a while on getting point releases out to market. It goes without saying, and this is not a chip off of my shoulder or anything like that. But if we go back to videos from Gamescom back in 2016, 2017, where there were reports from Nikita saying that they were hoping to get Streets of Tarkov and the hideout and everything done by December of 17, if not early 2018, none of that stuff ever really came to fruition. So it's no surprise that things are getting, quite horribly delayed. I wouldn't expect to see .12 until some point maybe around the beginning of August to the end of July at the earliest. But anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about. I had actually prepped a different video, and then BSG ended up coming out with this tweet. So I wanted to share this with you all. This is a screen cap of what looks to be a spreadsheet of them working through the 5.7 armor penetrating and fragmenting and damage values of the different 5.7 ammunition. And just to kind of go down the list, the L191 is the tracer round that I alluded to in my last YouTube video, which if you haven't seen, please go and check that out. It's literally the video that came right before this one. The L191 is the tracer variant of the SS190. So the L191 and the SS190 will be your penetrating rounds, quote unquote. The R37F is a fragmenting round. The R37X is a hollow point round. The SB193 is a subsonic variant of the standard ammunition that you'd see from FN. The SS197SR is the sport round that you would typically see for your target shooting, civilian folks. And the SS198LF is another hollow point. So, late game, the only round that appears to be, or the rounds, quote-unquote, that appear to be the kind of quote-unquote go-tos will be the SS190 and the L191 tracer variants. Here's the thing with this that I want to make sure that I make abundantly clear. The SS190 and the L191 are probably closest to how you would see the 856A1 and 856 rounds for all of the 5.56 chassis that are in the game, right? The SS190 and the L191 are going to, in my opinion, look and feel very, very similar to that of what you would see in an M4 using 856A1 and 856 being the non-tracer variant, which raises an interesting issue. There are better ammunition types out there. There are ammunition types that have more penetration capability than the SS190 and the L191, much like how the 856 is surpassed by the M995. 5.56 is obviously a larger cartridge, and when you have something as hard-tipped as 995, there should be a little bit more punch to something like that. But Elite Ammunition has the T6B round, which I would assume would be a pretty easy addition to the game, and would obviously have considerably more penetrating power, which I alluded to in, again, the last video. Not that I'm trying to plug the crap out of my last video, but you know what I mean. So where this falls in makes me kind of wonder. Yes, the P90 is going to have an awful high rate of fire. The 5.7 pistol being able to use SS190, which would be, again, akin to 856A1, most likely will make it the nastiest penetrating round that any pistol will have seen up until this point, and in my opinion will surpass that of SP13 for the Shrimp. But unless you're shooting face shields for late game, the likelihood that this is going to penetrate body armor with relative ease, pretty slim to none. I would not expect to see a whole lot of penetrating capability through, your class 5 and 6 armor. I would like to see a more penetrating variant of this for the P90. Maybe for late game, only because it would then make the weapon system viable for CQB at almost all points. And with the .12 release having things like the military base, which are probably going to be this mixture of close quarters and distance play, probably won't see a lot of P90 action in anything other than, factory and labs, unless people are just being memes. I don't know if the SS190 is going to do the job for late game, and it will probably just end up being like kind of a fun weapon like we see with people that run like kitted out MPXs and stuff. Although it will be a bit more effective than the AP 9mm. So that's my thoughts on that. Hopefully you guys don't mind this kind of content. What I'm going to do actually is kind of continue on with this if I can, do some more research into the other weapon systems that are kind of coming down the pike here, and hopefully we'll be able to kind of create this new like informational series. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you very much for your time. And I will be going live as soon as this video is up. So come and say hi if you're feeling frisky. Okay? Thanks. Peace.